Hey everyone, this is Thomas K.R. Stovall, and welcome to Amplify Daily. This is day number 30. Going to be talking to y'all today about warm network launch. Let me share my screen real quick. Yesterday, I gave you a snapshot into my my copy paste sell framework for audience building, list building, warm network launch, and sales automation. These are the four pieces that if you are a subject matter expert and you are looking to create automated income online through information products, courses, trainings, memberships, intensives, challenges, things like that, and not have to create a whole second job for yourself or have to hire a bunch of people to manage stuff, you got to have all four of these pillars in place. And I walked you through this yesterday, but the reason why is because it's pretty simple. You need to have a organic engine for generating eyeballs. That's number one. So you got to be leveraging social media in order to have an audience of people who are following you, who are liking, following, sharing, saving, and saying, "Man, this is some interesting content," and you're on their radar. That's number one. Number two, you need a list building structure so that you can transition those eyeballs onto a dedicated list where you have phone numbers and cell phone numbers and email addresses so that you can reach out to those people directly and make invitations and offers. Okay, so you got to have a list generation, excuse me, a list capture structure, lead capture structure. Number three is you need to have a process in place to facilitate effective warm network launches to activate that list and turn them into buyers of your online programs. And again, if you want to be able to do this without having to spend a ton of money on ads and without needing a full sales team to get on phone calls and stuff like that, and have it automated to a point where you're not answering a bunch of email questions and things like that. You need an attraction based approach. So the people are not coming to the table saying, okay, now you got me here, convince me why I should care. They're coming to the table 100% clear on what the offer is, who it's for, and having already qualified themselves, gone through a qualification process such that they know that the offer is perfect for them. They know what problem it solves, and they are in pain right now and looking for that solution. So you need a warm network launch structure that does all of that inside of the process. And number four, once you launch and do it effectively, and you've done a four-figure, five-figure, multiple five-figure, or maybe even six-figure or better warm network launch, now you need to have a structure to take the best pieces of that launch campaign, the things that are most effective, and systematize them so that each person who comes into your ecosystem from that point forward, each potential customer, they're getting a micro launch where they get all the aspects of that deadline driven, authority driven, story driven launch that you did publicly. But everybody who comes in gets a version of that through the sales automation system that you've got in place. All four of those pieces really need to be positioned if you're going to have an automated sales system that takes all of the rooms and the stages and all the stuff that you're already doing in your coaching, training, speaking, or consulting business, and just leverages that so that when people see you naturally in your element doing the stuff you do already, and they find their way to your sales site for your online programs, it becomes natural for them to just move through that automated engine and money drops into your into your bank account without you needing to do sales calls, without you needing to do ads. Now, nothing wrong with those things. If you want to pour on a little, if you want to fan that flame and pour a little bit of kerosene on it, you can easily turn on your online ads. You can easily turn on your, hire sales team if you want to scale like that. But it's not necessary to do it inside of this system, whereas in a lot of other systems it is. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. I want to show y'all what this looks like in practice. I'm going to walk you through I'm going to actually let y'all follow along as I launch a new program that I'm putting out, which is my launch in a day live intensive. Everything that I'm talking you through, I'm just going to model for you in real time so y'all can see what this launch looks like. I've already inside of Amplify Daily earlier this month, I did a recap on a $57,000 launch I did, partnered with a company out of New Orleans, a $16 million clothing brand, and they wanted to they want to relaunch an online education program. So partnered with them on that launch, went really well. We're now partnered to do way more stuff because I was able to get them back their time and do in a day and a half more sales than it took them 30 days to do inside of their previous system. But I want to walk y'all through a launch in real time as I move through one of my own program launches, and you'll kind of see how this stuff works. So you've seen this four-stage system that I just walked you through. I've got deep dive frameworks and programs for every single one of these four stages. And one of the things that I wanted to do probably toward the end, middle to end of 2024, was launch a comprehensive membership for seasoned experts who are in the online education space that I'm gonna come off and talk to you for a second. Seasoned experts who are in the online education space who have programs already and they understand. They've gone through the pain of trying to launch programs. They've done it ineffectively, and but they're committed to it, right? They know that this can be something that is really lucrative for them. They've already learned some of the process. They just haven't quite found the right approach, but they're really invested in it. But they're also exhausted in terms of doing it wrong. And so for those folks, I wanted to launch a membership program that's like a yearly membership. And it would just be a more of a curated program, not necessarily hundreds or thousands of people in it, just really a few dozen to start, tops, maybe even 10 or less, where these people for, every quarter have access directly to me and to this kind of curated network that I build to be able to ask the real practical questions about their actual launches, and their actual day-to-day automation that they're trying to put in place, their actual social media campaigns, and the actual management structures for their video production or whatever they might be doing. Each one of those four phases: audience building, list building, warm network launch, sales automation. It would just be kind of an open structure for people to be able to get on calls 2 times a month and get all this stuff handled inside of my framework. So giving them the core curriculum for how to do this stuff, and then turning on the screen share and going in real time in a group setting and just getting this stuff implemented. So that's what I wanted to launch. And I figured that it would be closer to the middle of or end of this year, as I just kind of rolled out the programs that I have for each one of these different stages, one by one. But at the last event I was at in Atlanta this last week, I actually did what I taught y'all in, I think it was Amplify Daily, the days 2 through 5. We talked through customer avatar, your research when you have lots of different micro conversations via DMs, emails, face to face, over the phone with potential customers, just to identify whether or not your speculations about the pain points they have, the solutions that you think you're solving for in the new program that you're launching, just to identify that stuff before you go to the marketplace and fall on your face and find out that you're building something nobody really wanted in the first place. So at the last event I was at in Atlanta, it's an event called Traffic Sales and Profits, and 700 to 1,000 Black entrepreneurs in the space. And this particular event, there's some people there who I know. It's like a family reunion for me. I go to that event really to contribute. I go to find 3 to 4 people, usually one per day, over the course of the 3 day event, that I can just sit down with and sew into for 2 to 3 hours and help them to get to some money. They're usually just maybe not quite clear on something, or something's not working. I literally go there just to catch up with my people and to find a few people who I can sew into, because this space can be complicated. And I wish somebody would have done that for me, because it took me going on now close to 5 years to get to a place where I got this thing figured out now. And, in the right situation, you can pretty much print money. And I love being able to show other experts how to take their expertise that, they're doing really well offline, coaching, training, speaking, consulting, doing six figures, multiple six figures or better, and be able to show them how to transition that into an online environment, launch online programs in a way that does not require their time and allows them to scale their expertise and their income exponentially, and also builds their online platform, their credibility more because of the visibility that it brings, and continues to grow their coaching or consulting business as well. So this has been a niche that I've really enjoyed expanding in. So I go to that event to really just contribute and help people grow. But I did have one of these conversations that I've told y'all about, which is like this micro conversation, this micro market research, where I really just talked with somebody who I knew was in my mind, like a perfect fit for this program. Again, the micro market research conversations, these are not to sell. These are really just to have conversation and qualify some of your speculations. Sometimes they do end in sales, but that's not the point. The goal is really to just get in conversation and really get clear on who your customer avatar is, and whether or not those speculations are accurate. So I had about a 45-minute conversation with somebody who's a past client of mine, and really just qualified a lot of the stuff I was looking for. I told her about the membership program. I asked her how if I was to do something like that, what topics would really be relevant and useful for her. I laid out what I was planning on covering, and then asked, would it really be useful to be able to just like have hot seats, pretty much throw away all the training. A lot of these other masterminds, they're like lots of training. Nothing wrong with that. I don't want to do that. I want to do straight tactical hot seats. Open up your screen, show me where you stuck. Let's get active and let's solve the problem right now. Not general strategy. What strategy works for you? What makes sense for you? Tell me who what your resources are, what your relationships are, what your time is, what your team looks like, and what your goals are, and let's map out strategies and implement them in real time. So it's like really, really brass tacks. She's like, oh my goodness, that would be amazing. All right, cool. So my premise is accurate. Now I wanted to find out whether or not the timeline I had. So I'm planning on doing 2 calls a month. First call would be pretty much like, here's the overview of what we're going to be implementing, because you do need to understand what the process and the framework is, so that when you hire people to do a lot of this stuff, because it's not about doing all this yourself. What I'm teaching is how to get the right people in place so that this thing is like the implementation is done for you, and the management of it is managed like with systems and process. You don't really need a big team to do this stuff. So 1 call per month is like overview of what we're implementing and next steps. And the next call is like hot seats, tweaking, open up your laptop, let's do it in real time. And maybe even both calls per month, like with that stuff. Maybe the first half of the call is an overview, the second half of the call is implementation. So I kind of ran all that by her just to get an idea of, from her perspective, what would be the most valuable approach. And so this went on for like, again, 45 minutes. And as we got into it, I noticed she just started like nodding her head more and more and like excited about it. And we end the conversation. I'm like, you know what? Thanks so much. This has been great. And she says, well, let me know when this is ready. Like, I'm ready to go. I said, what do you mean you're ready to go? She said, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to sign up. I said, well, I was planning on launching it, probably a little bit later this year, just because I don't have the bandwidth or the interest to like put on a full launch for it right now. And I also think that the people who get it, like they kind of already need to be in a good amount of pain because they've gone through this already. So it's a narrow audience. And I just don't want to go find them right now. But if you're interested, like I'm always willing to accelerate it if I don't have to go and do any marketing and sales. If you're interested now. And she's like, yeah, I'm interested right now. I said, well, cool. What do you want to pay for it? And so I'd already asked her early in the conversation, what price point does she think would be good for a program like this? And she's like, oh my goodness, I paid, 20 grand easily for it, at least 20 grand. Because that the price point I was thinking was, definitely in the five figures, multiple five figures for it. And so that wasn't off base. And I said, okay, cool. So like, what do you want to pay for it? And I fast forward to the end of the conversation. So what do you want to pay? Because whenever I'm transacting with somebody the first time and they make it easy for me, this is something that some of y'all may know already. But if you didn't listen closely, if you're ever the first person in one of my programs, like it is a good place to negotiate because I'm generally like, cool, you're gonna make it easy for me. I don't have to go out and do any marketing and sales. I make it very sweet for people who are coming in. You usually get a lot of one-to-one consulting time with me and I do something that's special, and I usually give ridiculous prices too. So I said, well, what do you want to pay? And she says, well, what do you want to charge? And I'm like, well, let me think about this. You're making it hard on me. I wish you just give me a price. So I went off, had some other conversations, and I shot her a text back. I'm like, let's just do the 20 grand since you already said that that works for you. But I'm going to do some special stuff for you. Going to give you some extra, hours. I know you're launching a program, so we'll just do a few extra calls so I can like make it really, really nice for you. Because I always like to do something again special for people who are signing up first, especially when I haven't even had to do any launches or anything like that. So did that micro market research, ended up walking away with a $20,000 contract from the event with like no intention of doing anything other than going there and contributing to others. So again, always be doing this micro market research, but the the first program out of that four-stage thing that she's going to be getting walked through, I'm going to walk y'all through how I'm launching my first program right now. I'm going to share my screen and just show you what these principles look like in action. So the program that I'm launching, let me actually show you the planning for it first. So I'm going to scroll down to the section of this document. And this is just my internal document, FYI. But the audience building is called 1 Minute Expert, list building, structures for that, the organic program launch. So this is all about warm network momentum and pre-sales. And this program that I'm launching is called Launching a Day Live. I also have this program in a masterclass format. This is like 90 minutes. This first one I'm going to do is going to be a half day intensive. Live events are easy to at least for me. I've got really solid frameworks. I've done hundreds of events over the course of the last 15, 20 years. And live events leave you with a lot of leeway to figure stuff out on the fly, to adjust. The energy in person rooms is always very different than an online event. People think online events are easier. They're much harder to facilitate than a live event because there's no room for error. Something doesn't show on the screen right. You got sound issues. People drop. You're not holding the energy right. People go and they fade away and they do something in their house or go manage stuff with their kids, whatever it might be. When they're in a live event, when you're in the room, it is much easier to hold attention. It's much easier to observe the room and know what needs to be updated. So I like live events. And it also gives you an opportunity to offer a higher price point for that live event with less people, have a professional videographer there come in and shoot the event, record it, get it edited and chopped up, and then that becomes your masterclass. And then you get to also use the narrative that get access to the same training that I just sold for $1,000 for $47 or for $97 in the masterclass. The people who are in the room live don't have to feel bad about that because they got you live in the event, and it's a different experience when you're live versus the folks who are watching it online in the comfort of their home. It's still a quality event, but it is not the same as being in the room live. So everybody's happy. The folks who got it for the lower price feel like they got a deal. The folks who paid to be in the room know that that energy in the room was different, and so they're not complaining about it. All right, so this is the launch in a day live event. What happens here is in this half-day intensive, I literally walk people in real time through stage one of my four-stage launch stacking approach for launching any new online program, and which is really about 45 days total to get the full benefit of it. But stage one, we can launch stage one of that four-stage process, which is them doing their first online workshop. We can launch that inside of 24 hours. Pre-sales with their Eventbrite page up, being sold to their warm network. We can get that up and out in 24 hours. And that includes the work to identify what is going to be the exact thing that they're going to talk about. So tomorrow, I'll probably walk y'all through like what that stage one looks like. But for now, I just want to show you this is what the plan looks like for launching a day. And here's where I start. So remember, I talked to y'all about list generation, which is like your warm network, your lead capture mechanism. This is the first page in that funnel. I call this an alert list. And my alert list pages really just give high level snapshot of the event. And the narrative is get on the alert list so you can stay up to date with any alerts about this particular event or other events in this series. And it usually has like a header that's going to speak directly to that particular customer avatar, attention subject matter experts, launching a day alert list. Here's what it's about: generate passive income from your expertise. My framework for warm network launch and sales automation: make experts millions of dollars, learn how to turn your expertise into passive income online in 24 hours flat. So this is an authority statement that quickly gets them in the world of what I'm doing. Quick video, this 60-second video, if you watch it, gives some authority, talks about how I make 5 figures in 60 minutes online, speaking to universities, enterprises. But I had people in my courses, in my online programs, who were making 6, 7 figures a year, and the folks who I show who are in my rooms, are people that are very well known folks online. And I'm not going to drop any names on this particular moment, but if you are in the online education space, you know some of the faces that are in this audience, this room here, and people who are very well known in the online education space who've made tens of millions of dollars. They made their first million, you know, um, after going through one of my masterminds, and this is like not the first time. I've had multiple people do that. I'm kind of like a guy who people don't necessarily know is behind or part of the story of some of your favorite online gurus. I have deep dive frameworks, and it's the first time I'm making it my point to really start to put my personal brand out and share some of my personal programs that folks who know just kind of know. So video, 60 seconds, and then context. Are you a well-paid expert with a framework, signature talk that you currently sell offline, but your business requires you to trade more hours if you want to make more dollars? If that's you, join us. So that's context. If they join here, right here on the form, just a little bit of, again, I want to ground this. Are you an expert, meaning coach, trainer, speaker, consultant? Do you have an existing consulting framework or signature talk that you currently sell offline, blah, blah, blah? Are you ready to turn your expertise into passive income online in 24 hours flat? Join the alert list today to receive updates about launching a day live and other online luminary resources, programs, trainings, and events. Yeah, this sounds good. So I want to do this. Stovall.t. Let's use a different email address. Let's do TKRS at Thomas Stovall.com. Stovall. And I'm not going to put a phone number, add me to the alert list. So boom. As soon as this is done, I am now on the alert list. And the main thing that you want to think about that, so that alert list has come, is gone, is done. The entire focus of that thing was lead capture. I wanted to get them on a list. Now that they did that, they've forgotten about that thing. Now they're looking at this page for launching a day. but they are now on my email list. And I'm now able to follow up with them and make them invitations and offers about this particular thing ongoingly. My first goal in every single one of my funnels is first party data. I want to, right at the top, get them on an alert list, an access list, a readiness assessment, a quiz of some sort. The first thing I want to do is have them go through a form so that I can either qualify them or get them on my email list. Now I can follow up with them in the future. Now let's get into the funnel. But I don't want to start them in the funnel. I want to capture some information first. Now, this is the launch in a day page. And on the page, my pages are always, this is my custom sales site. So I do not use ClickFunnels. I don't use Lead Pages. I don't use Kartra. I don't use any third party software. I want my primary asset for my business, which is my custom sales site. This is the foundation of my business. I want to own that asset, and I want to be able to move things around and customize them. And I want the SEO from it. I want. This is my asset. So I don't farm that out to third parties, and it allows me to do some interesting stuff. The way that my funnels are built, I've got a little mini click funnels basically on the back end of my site. Like I've got sales funnels for every different type of scenario that I sell inside of, but that is all my custom site. So all of my sites are built to be mobile responsive with clear calls to action right at the top, um, along with a clear kind of headers of what the page is about. Click this button, it'll take them to the actual application page, not registration page. You heard me right. I've told you already in another Amplify Daily, inside of a principle called cognitive disfluency. That means that everything can't be easy. Sometimes it pays to put a little friction inside of your sales process so that people can distinguish you from everybody else in the market. I make high value invitations and offers that live inside of attraction. I don't want you to come to my page and think you can just hire me or you can just come to my program. You need to qualify yourself and make sure that you're the right fit. Because if you come, I am going to make some exact promises. And I need to know that you're a very particular person who is ready to get out the gate, make some moves, but also that you're the perfect fit. Because if you're not, I can't make you those promises. So I'm just going to scroll down real quick so you guys can get a feel for the page. And notice that the language is specific. Notice that one of the first things that I do, qualification, again, is this live intensive is not for everybody. Let me tell you who it is for. You're already a recognized expert. You already spend time in front of the rooms and on stage. You already have a consulting framework or defined signature talk. You're already making money coaching, training, speaking, consulting. You don't want to learn or understand any new tech tools in order to get this out the gate. You want to just follow a blueprint, paint by numbers, and make some money, and you're not a looking new or a Porsche junkie. Who is this not for? You are not already recognized in your company or in any of your peer groups as an experts in your particular domain. This is not one of those coaching programs or course programs that's for any and everyone to launch something. Nothing wrong with those programs. That's just not what I sell. That's not my brand. You do not have a consulting framework or specific talk. Somebody who doesn't have that, that becomes a consulting engagement for me to pull out your unconscious competence and define that expertise in the form of an ebook or consulting framework or signature talk, all within my skill set, but not something that I can do inside of a program like this where I need them to come with something already. If they have it, I can get them out the gate. Helping somebody get to pull it out, very different work. That becomes a coaching program or consulting program that needs to be more one-to-one. You are not already making money coaching, training, speaking, consulting, part-time or full-time in your area of expertise. The reason this matters is because if somebody's not already making money, it's the emotional stuff that they're dealing with. Is anybody going to be willing to buy my program? Do they really think it's valuable? Do you think this will work? That's a different person than the person who's already selling their thing. They already know who their buyer is. And they're saying, yeah, I made 100 grand last year with this talk or with this consulting framework. I want to sell this same education to that same person, but do it online so it's scalable. That person is already convinced that it works. All they need is the blueprint. I don't have time or energy to coach the person who's not yet confident because they haven't yet sold their program. Again, well within my skill set, but that becomes a coaching or consulting program, not the person who you want to launch this program to. Because even if they get in, they're going to cause problems and not be a good case study. And you're not mentally ready to launch now, even if I promise to walk you through the exact process. Sometimes people they have the cash, they've got the program, but for whatever reason, they're just scared. They're scared of stepping out. And I know what that feels like. I know what that feels like to just not feel like you're ready. But this is not the person for this program because I need case studies. I need to have the person who is ready. And when I deliver what I'm going to deliver, because I will deliver on intent, that person gets up out of the gate and in less than 24 hours, as promised, they come to my program and, excuse me, and they launch their program and get to money less than 24 hours later. I need that case study. So if there's somebody who's not ready to do that, I won't let them in the program. And they do. There is authentically an application process. So we scroll down here. All of this is my copywriting. Your boy is a decent writer. So this is just me taking my story inside of my storytelling framework and mapping on my story onto what I know their pain is, mapping my story onto what I know some of their assumptions and narratives are about like get rich quick. No, this isn't about get rich quick. It's about evidence. It's about grounded practical thinking. You're already getting awards regionally, locally, nationally for your expertise. You're already getting paid six figures, multiple six figures in your day job or consulting practice. You're already getting paid 4 to 5 figures for 60 to 90 minutes of your time, speaking on stage inside of your expertise. Is it a stretch to simply document the specialized knowledge you're already getting paid well to share, package it up properly, and sell it online directly to the individuals first in your warm network and eventually in your extended network who are already paying you for it in the form of your job, a consultant engagement, or speaking from stage? Nah, it's not a stretch at all. Actually, it's pretty logical, isn't it? It's also pretty easy to execute once you have the step-by-step framework. I am tearing down any of their preconceived notions and I'm getting them to think about this logically. Yeah, I'm already doing this. Why can't I sell online? Now, if I've torn down that objection, the only thing I need to do is prove to them that my program, my framework is the one that's going to make sense for them. And the best way for me to do that, look, you don't need a week, you don't need a month, 24 hours. Give me 24 hours. And as a matter of fact, uh, we're going to switch the frame, and you can't just sign up. I need you to apply, and that takes that extra little bit of their concern and flips it into, oh my goodness, well, I hope that I can be one of the people he works with. And that becomes an attraction based frame of reference versus a sales based frame. I got some social proof in here. So, y'all know I've been an adjunct professor for Northwestern, Kellogg. It's a #2 MBA in the country, top 15 in the world. Not many of my peers, mostly none, who do what I do in this space can say that. Even if they've been a professor at a college, Northwestern is an elite university globally. And so I make sure to use this social proof. If you've got social proof, make sure you include it on your page. And some of the people who've been through my programs and the outcomes they were able to produce. This page isn't live yet, so I still got to drop in the details here. But y'all can see, I've got a consistent track record of people generating on launch anywhere between tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands to literally millions of dollars from warm network launches. Not a wide list, not a big audience, but a defined narrative inside of my specific framework, and people get to the money. This is the group that I just did that $57,000 launch with a couple weeks ago. So then I get down to the pain, skip the $150,000 in mistakes I've made and individual narratives that I know people are going to align with. As a new dad, I wanted my time. Even if they skim this, right, they're still going to get the gist of it. Tens of thousands of dollars wasted on the experts who didn't deliver what they promised. Automated sales. It's not just about making money, it's about making automated money. I didn't know what help I needed, what questions to ask, or how to even verify the work that was being done, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, this is the page. And then I get really clear on what we're promising for this event, and then some frequently asked questions at the bottom. And on the next page is the actual application. So tomorrow, I am going to again walk y'all through probably the what that stage one looks like. This is my application page, etc. So that is a quick walkthrough of like my real process. And I'm going to keep y'all up to date as I go through this launch and walk y'all through what it looks like to launch a program like this in real time. So uh, we're not going to wait for the results on the back end and, make sure it's successful. I'm going to show y'all what it looks like in real time as I do this launch, and y'all can understand what it looks like to facilitate this, also what the work is, what the process is. Hopefully, y'all get something out the gate as well. Talk to you tomorrow.